Welcome to Book to Blueprint, where powerful books become practical blueprints for real life. You do not need more information, you need execution. This is Book to Blueprint. Today, we're not just talking about a book, we're actually going to build something together. We're going to reverse engineer Robert Irvine's guide and create a real practical blueprint for you to execute. Think of it as your own personal cheat sheet for creating a business and a mindset that is just unbeatable. And our guide for this? None other than Robert Irvine. Now, you probably know him as the world class chef who has saved hundreds, and I mean hundreds, of failing businesses on Restaurant Impossible. His entire career is basically a masterclass in turning total chaos into massive success. And today, we're going to break down his exact methods for you. Everything we're about to build rests on one single idea: nothing is impossible. And look, this isn't just some motivational poster or fluff. It is the core belief, the engine that powers every single step of the blueprint we're laying out. So, how are we going to do this? Simple. We've broken it down into 5 super actionable parts. First, we'll define the end goal, what you're actually aiming for. Then, we'll lay out the operating system, the rules of the game. After that, we'll walk through a 30-day implementation plan. Then, we'll get into the habits you need to build. And finally, we'll cover the big mistakes you absolutely have to avoid. Okay, let's dive in. First up, the core outcome. We've got to start with the end in mind, right? So, what do you actually get if you follow this blueprint? What's the real prize here? I'll tell you this, it's a whole lot deeper than just making more money. So, here's the deal: the outcome is really 2 things. First, yeah, you get the toolbox for success. But, and this is the important part, you also build the mental muscle to actually use it. This is all about learning how to reframe your losses, your L's, as Robert Irvine calls them, and turn them into lessons. It's about transforming every single setback into a step forward. All right, next up is the operating system. These are the fundamental principles that make the whole blueprint run. And you have to think of these less as suggestions and more as, well, non-negotiable laws for doing what everyone else thinks is impossible. So, here they are, your 5 new rules. Rule 1, trust is your currency. Simple. If you lose it with your team or your customers, you are bankrupt. Done. 2, lead by example. If the 4s need mouthing, guess what? You're grabbing the mob first. 3, own your mistakes. Period. No excuses. It builds respect way faster than any win ever will. 4, always be prepared for anything. And finally, number 5, you are always selling. That clean storefront, that quick email reply, that's a sales pitch. It's all building your brand. Now, I want to zoom in on one of those principles: being prepared. There's this French culinary term, mise en place. It literally means everything in its place. But in business, man, it's a powerful strategy. It's the secret weapon for staying calm in a storm. It's all about doing that tedious, hard organizational work up front before the crisis hits, so when the pressure's on, you can just execute, clear-headed and ready. Okay, theory time is over. This is where it gets real. We're moving from the big ideas to a concrete 30-day plan. I'm talking about the exact steps you can take starting, well, right now. So, week 1, you find your why. You lock in that core mission that gets you out of bed. Week 2, you build a playbook. Just one. Document a key process so anyone can repeat it. Week 3, you empower your team. And that means truly delegating a major task. Then, in week 4, you let the data do the talking. You analyze the results and you adapt. And this is how you make sure it's actually working. It's not about just going through the motions. Check out that metric for success column. In week 3, it's not enough to just delegate a task. The real measure of success is if that task gets done without you having to step in. See the difference? That's when you know you're making real progress. But look, a 30-day plan is great, but it's useless if you don't build the right habits. Success isn't a one-time thing, right? It's what you do every single day. It's those consistent behaviors that stack up over time. And let's talk about the biggest habit to break. Robert Irvine calls micromanaging the #1 business killer. And for good reason. When you refuse to delegate, you're sending one clear message to your team: I don't trust you. And that, it creates fear, it crushes momentum, and it just burns you out. The habit of a true leader is the exact opposite. It's consciously letting go, trusting your people, and always looking for ways to unlock their potential. That, my friends, is how you work smarter, not harder. And right alongside that, there is another crucial habit you've got to build. You have to kill your ego and become a student for life. Seriously, your ego is a liability. The second you think you know it all, you stopped growing. The best leaders out there, they're always learning, always adapting. They're humble enough to admit they don't have all the answers. And this isn't something you decide once, it's a choice you have to make every single day. Okay, last section, and it's a big one. Let's talk about the traps. Because knowing what not to do is just as critical as knowing what to do. This is all about dodging those common mistakes that can sink even the best businesses. So I want you to ask yourself this, and be honest. Are you accidentally killing your own business? Are your own habits, your own blind spots getting in your way? Because these are the silent killers. If that ego that tells you you're right when you're driving straight off a cliff, it's ignoring the hard data, that downward trend because you just don't want to see it. It's taking those little fatal shortcuts on quality that totally shatter trust with your customers. It's being stubborn when you should be pivoting. And that constant last-minute crunch time cycle, that's not heroic. It just leads to burnout and terrible decisions. But I want you to remember this. You are going to take losses. There will be setbacks. It's part of a game. But it doesn't matter how many L's stack up against you, because it only takes a single W, one win, build the right way, using this blueprint, to wipe that entire board clean. Look, people are out there building incredible things every single day. So you have to look yourself in the mirror and ask those final questions. You have the blueprint right here, right now. So why not you? Then why not now? If you have a book in mind that should be added to our list, comment below. If this blueprint helped you, subscribe, like, and build with us. More blueprints are coming. Stay intentional, stay consistent. We are doing this one book at a time. And remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So share this with them and grow together. Real progress becomes stronger when it is shared. Build your life one blueprint at a time. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you do.